What is up, everybody? And welcome back. Oh man, what a start to the trip. Just battling a headwind here. Oh man. I got a little stinker butt in the back there. A long way to return of Killian. We're gonna be paddling out today and resolving some unfinished business. There's a small trio of islands back in the bay here. I'm gonna get this little stinker butt. Oh man, I'm battling a headwind. Kind of hard to talk to you guys. I'm gonna get to the first of the 3 islands and I'll give you a proper introduction from there. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Fun stuff. Funny how I was just battling all of that super choppy water to get here, and now that water is just silky smooth without a wave on it. Yep, that's just how it goes sometimes. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am out here for an overnight camping adventure. I brought Killian out here last fall, and we tried to do a camping adventure overnight on these 3 islands that are located in the bay here, and had some complications. That was definitely an interesting trip. Yeah, we ended up having to leave in the middle of the night when the water was going to be super calm. So Killian and I have some unfinished business. We are on the first of 3 islands. It is our mission to explore all 3 of them, camp overnight, cook ourselves up a good meal, have some good beers, a couple of little doggy treats for the old boy, take it all in, enjoy nature. Overall, just try to live in the moment. But before we do any of that, I've got to take a little nip off of the old banana flask. Woo! Good Lord. Yes, sir. That is Jim Beam's Devil Cut. All right, without further ado, everybody, let's get into it. I'm at the very first island. I'm at the very first little beach kind of area. So we got a rope swing here. I don't know how far you'd really be getting out there with that, but it is something. And then you got this kind of makeshift shelf that somebody has put in, which is also kind of be a bench. And then we've got grates here, which I assume people are barbecuing with. I have this camera bag that's supposed to be waterproof. Maybe it was only supposed to be water resistant, but we were getting splashed pretty good on the way in here. The big cameras I got are slightly damp. I got them sitting over on this little bench here, kind of drying out. And if we continue, Killian's already making his way. Come on. Yeah. If we continue down the path here, then we got somebody's pirate fantasy living out over here. Kind of cool. Somebody's just got their pot chilling up there. Little kind of makeshift bench here, and an old wooden chair to sit on the beach and enjoy things. All right, walking on down this way. Checking it out. A lot of growth going on back in there. All right, I'm walking through. Not too deep of water, but just walking around. We do have some motorized boats going by in the bay here. But I'm trying not to get too ultra deep into the vegetation because I'm not 100% positive if I'm gonna scrape up against some poison ivy. Not thrilled to see that type of stuff. That's why it's a bummer to a certain extent when you see people building these little forts. As cool and nifty as it is, you know, as soon as people get out here and they start spending time here, they're gonna start doing stuff like that. Oh. And that, unfortunately, I've just been out in the woods too often and see the way people like to treat the wilderness like it's their own garbage can, which is unfortunate, but I can only do so much about it. Oh, he is just having a blast. He really is. All that talk about the dense vegetation and going in anyway. Oh. This is pretty cool. Yeah, these birds back in here make it feel very jungly. I'm really not super far outside the city, but it's getting pretty dense in there. Killian doesn't seem bothered at all. See, maybe we'll continue, maybe we'll turn around. Let me figure this out. I'm just breaking in here real quick to tell you about our sponsor for today, and that is Oslo Sleep Buds. I use these sleep buds all the time, and so does Mrs. Bananas. I only use them when I want to sleep perfectly, and I don't want any unwanted sounds disturbing me. I mean, once I put these things in, I cannot hear anything. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, I'll do like a guided meditation, we'll listen to rain sounds. Oslo has an app that allows you to choose between a bunch of different sound options. I really, really love these things until Mrs. Bananas took them from me. I have a mild sleep apnea and I use a CPAP machine. However, sometimes it's not exactly convenient to travel with that thing. Recently, Mrs. Bananas and I went to North Carolina and we were there for a week. To mask the sound of my snoring, Mrs. Bananas wore these sleep buds and swore that she could not hear a thing. On top of that, they are specially designed to fit into your ear for side sleepers. You cannot feel them at all while sleeping on your side. Believe it or not, they auto pause when you fall asleep, and they have an in-ear alarm that you can adjust the intensity of. Oslo Sleep Buds were named Best of CES 2025 by CNET in Fitness and Wellness. If you want to get the best sleep of your life, you can click the QR code on screen, or click the link in my description, or you can use code CAMSB to get $10 off your Oslo Sleep Buds. All right, everybody, let's get back into the action. Okay, so it thins out over here on kind of more the north side of the island. And we kind of push through here and out onto another little beachy cove DLE here. Of course, a lot more garbage. You know, that stuff's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't want to spend the whole video complaining about people littering, but I think you get it. Yeah, most of you feel me. So it looks like we can keep going this way here a little bit. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Killian, put that down. Woo! Okay, so I think this is you know, kind of just going to be more of the same, but pretty neat. So it's not too bad up there. It's kind of thinned out and it's just kind of like underbrush. So I remember when I was here in the fall thinking that I could camp up there, but now that it's like summertime, the vegetation is really like in full force. And yeah, it's gonna be a little too dense of a situation for me to camp back here. So let's see if there's anything interesting around, and if not, we'll make our way back to the beginning. This is like that big, wide, open kind of area with just kind of some undergrowth on the bottom, very green. I remember in the fall, a lot of these like small plants weren't here. This could definitely be a good campsite in a pinch. I believe this is somebody's old burn pit. If not a burn pit, it's just people dumping all kinds of crap all over it. But yeah, I don't think I was the first person to have an idea to camp back in here. All right, yeah, we've got pontoon boat having some fun back over there. I don't know, maybe they got the right idea. I always just find like I get a lot of adventure off the old canoe. I think Killian's gonna definitely need a tick check. Getting back, winding down tonight. He does have a flea and tick collar. I'm gonna chill out a minute, get my bearings, and then go ahead and hug this side of the island, shoot around, and cut into making my way to the second one. Hey, buddy. I don't even think I got any casts on camera, but I was trolling with this silver colored rooster tail, and that's what I caught that walleye on a few trips ago. But I had a few people tell me if it's kind of dark, muddy, kind of murky water, to use darker baits or darker lures. So I'm gonna try this plastic worm with this jig, and it's a bit weedy throughout here anyway, so we're gonna try trolling with this and, you know, see how she does. Okay, yeah, we are back to a headwind, and we are back to some choppiness. Killian's not perturbed at all. He's a regular sea-faring sea dog. I don't know. We'll figure out something to call him. You got a nautical or pirate themed nickname suggestion for Killian? Let me know in the comments. Killian and I walked down the beach here a little bit. It's a nice little camp spot. Just to make things easier, believe it or not, I'm gonna walk this thing along the coastline here down to the shore. Killian can walk along the shore out of the water because he's smaller, and he can go underneath little brushes and things like that. So, all right, let's get to it. There's the beach. And then right back this way, there's a little trail leading right back in. Somebody has tried to make some kind of little swing seat thing, what have you. Yeah, this fire pit here is awfully close to some kind of dead brush and everything. So I'm probably going to take this and maybe move it out kind of here into the open, make a pit, make it a little more fire safe anywho. But this is kind of cool. Someone cut this tree down, which as you can see, it is deader than a doornail, and it's a giant tree. So that looks like the other piece of it there. But this chunk that fell, I'm assuming they used a chainsaw here, but they cut this area out for a little seat. And they cut this area out for another little seat here too. And they cleared out a lot of that brush and stuff. So yeah, I think this is gonna make a nice little camping area back in over here. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of my stuff, hike it on up, lay claim to the area here, take a load off for a minute, and then we'll figure out our next move from there. Alright, well, I crashed the drone. Oh, so I'm going to be cleaning out some of this brush, getting back in there, finding that sucker, because we're certainly not going to leave it in the middle of the woods, I'll tell you that. Well, somebody doesn't want to leave my side. Trusty companion. Yeah, basically, you can see I'm like deep into the brush here, trying to find that drone. We're going to find it. Let's see what kind of condition it's in. Sorry, buddy. I bet it's okay. Even with the propellers chewed up like that, it's still able to fly pretty straight. Okay, where were we? Okay, so got the drone back, got a little bit of footage. No harm, no foul. You can't fly it all the time and try to do, you know, risky stuff like that. Eventually you're gonna crash it, and I mean, pretty much most people who fly drones do. Just checking out on the drone, the third island, I mean, it's right there. That was a bit of a hike to get between the two, and to get to the first one was the longest chunk. I think I'm gonna go ahead and by default say this is probably gonna be a good spot to camp for the night. If there's something absolutely fantastic, then we'll load up the canoe and head behind us. I don't think that's gonna happen, but yeah, we got a ton of time. I got lots of fishing left to do. Yeah, I think we should head on out and do a little exploration. What do you think? Let's do it. I guess that's what I get for messing around with the drone and just letting things fly. Get everything off of me. Shoes off, just in case. I think I can walk that far out, but if I can't, I will be swimming. That's not too bad. Okay, I realized that big head, I just wasn't paying attention. That thing floats, so it's not going down. I guess I could put sinkers on the line, but I'm not going to. I switched it out for this one, which I think is lead, and that's pretty dark too. If that's not what you guys are talking about, I'm looking for advice on fishing. I'm reading comments. I'm answering as many as possible, so I promise I read all of the comments. But yeah, we're gonna try this one, and yeah, I got a lot of time, so we're gonna get out here and do a little fishing and see how we do. A couple people said this to me, that fish like shade and they like structure. So those are good little tips for me to get. I got some structure around me, but that structure is sitting in all of 1 foot of water or so. So I don't know. I might try to take a couple casts on that stuff, but I think for now, I'm gonna paddle around and check out this area I wanna check out. And we're gonna do a little bit of trolling. And you know, we'll see what happens. Woo, Nelly! Hot dog. So we've got some boaters over here, and there's one last island that I want to circle, but there's also all this like marsh area and like a peninsula and like the backside of some other stuff too, which is pretty nifty. So you can see to this side of me, there's all kind of weeds, or reeds and marsh. There are some boaters over here. I think that's, I mean, I can't see it all that well, but there's some kind of boaters over here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and scooch over, take a closer look, and see if there's anything fun. I am a bit curious what's over there. It's the beach or what's going on. So whew. This place is crazy. I got a half of mine to come back over here and camp, but maybe it would make for a really good camp in the future. Okay, let me turn this camera around and show you what we're twerking with here. Rope swing, pretty cool. Little beachy beach. Little fallen tree action. Beautiful view of the sunset over there. This is cool. Wow. Wow. Walking back over here. We got, oh, Lord only knows who did this, but it looks like it took some work. The grill top there. Nice cleared out spot for a fire. A couple of things set up to hang your gear, or kind of bushcrafty type of table to just set stuff on, shelf. A couple more right here. This is neat. And then it's all just kind of, you know, cleared out. People obviously come here for sure. I just saw a couple that was here. And that's all cleared out back in. I mean, you could camp all up in this. It would be really cool. You could do hammocking and stuff here. This is neat. This is pretty neat. And then if we continue back along this way, I wouldn't call it a trail, but it's just sort of cleared out. You can kind of punch back in this way, and then there's somebody's toilet that they graciously left here. That's unfortunate, but well, I guess I didn't have to come that way. I could have come this way, but that's okay. And then there we go. So then you come out this way, go ahead and punch on out to the shore here. And check that out. That is pretty neat. And if you look over there, we got a bunch of boats all hanging out, chilling, partying, doing what boating type of people like to do. This whole beach just keeps going. Let's check this part out down here. All right, this is cool. This is neat. It's not somewhere that people can get to easily. That's almost still even slightly warm. It's a bummer, but can't really do much about it. I'm not criticizing anybody for coming out here and doing it, but just, you know, put your fire out, for crying out loud, when you leave. That's all. And pick up your garbage too. Very cool back in over here. Pretty neat. If you know what this is, leave me a comment. That's pretty cool. That's really pretty. All right, well, there's the beach right there. I just decided to come up, and it looked like a little tiny trail situation. And I pop up on top of this kind of open, like, flat spot. And what do I see? Look at that. How in the world would you get something like this over here? That is absolutely crazy. They would have had to build it back over here, basically. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is something else. I'll give you that. I didn't mention it in all the excitement. This has been a pretty fun trip. That jig didn't last long, got caught on something, immediately snapped off. So somebody told me to try the gold colored rooster tails in the kind of murky water like this. So you know, like I said, I'm open to suggestions. Let me know. I'm reading the comments. All right, Killy, you ready to do it, buddy? Roof. Roof. Who decided to make himself at home. He is ready to lie down, I'll tell you right now. Come here, buddy. Oh my goodness sakes. Oops, sorry. How's that? Is that pretty good? I'm gonna move this fire pit just a little over to the side because I don't want it right on top of that bush right there. All right, well I missed part of that, but you get the gist. There's the noodles. There's the gooey cheese. All the peppers and onions are on the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of this in there. Get that all mixed up here. Kinda hard to complain about that, huh? I guess we'll start with half. Let's see if we eat it. Big juicy beer hug. Imperial IPA 9.9. Let's get it, baby. I mean, look at that. Mmm. Mmm. That is good stuff. Alright, everybody. I'm going to sit here, enjoy my fire, eat the rest of my food, hang out with the dog. I'll check back with you guys in just a little bit. Oh, alright everybody. The mayflies are officially out. They're harmless. Not super worried about them. But, yeah. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. Killian officially stole my bed. I drink this one last beer. Sit here, enjoy my fire. I think that's it. We're gonna go to bed. Anything interesting happens, I'll definitely pull you guys in, but otherwise, I will catch you guys in the morning. Good night. Oh. Well, just getting everything loaded up, getting ready to get into the canoe, and rain starts coming in. Fun stuff. Of course it does. Oh, goodness sakes. Well, I was thinking about waiting out the rain. We're supposed to stop shortly, but I didn't think Killian would want to be out in it. But he's just wandering around the campsite getting wet anyway, so I left the tent up for him as the last thing to break down. So we'll see. I'm gonna finalize, kind of getting ready here, and we'll see what little stinker butt wants to do. I can't solve the problem of people littering, but if I can spare it, when I go out, I try to take a couple of pieces of litter home with me. And 2 beers that I didn't drink. Those will go nice in the fridge. Woo! All right, everybody. That'll do it for me and Killian. We are getting on the water, getting the heck out of here. It's a fun trip. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you did as well. Woo! That is another one of the books, right, buddy? Big shout out to each and every one of you. You all make it possible for me to do this. If you like what you saw today and you want to see more, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that banana. And we're going to catch you on the next one, everybody. Bye now.